quorum. We should have Meredith and Nancy and a couple of others. So we'll give them a couple more minutes and see if we can get those last two.
Cindy, while we're waiting, I dropped my gift for Jody off at the chamber yesterday, but nobody was around, so I just stuck it in her office. I figured that's where they're all going to end up anyway. Just so you know.
Good afternoon, Meredith. We need one more member and then we'll have our 7 people quorum. So we'll give a couple more minutes here and we'll get things started. If while we're waiting, everybody can review the minutes, that's one of the first things we'll do. So you should have the February 2nd minutes in your inboxes. If you want me to share them in the chat, please let me know and I can add them there. So in the appreciation of everybody's time, we'll hold on the minute approval and see if our people that had their last minute meetings were able to join us, and we'll do those here in a little bit. Steve, we'll go ahead and start the meeting now. Thank you. All right, so we will wait for a couple more of our members to approve the February 2nd meeting minutes as on the agenda, but we have a few different updates to give you guys and a couple of updates from some of our subcommittee on ongoing efforts as well. So COVID communications. I hope all of you saw that we have created a vaccine sort of info hub website. It is at indep.us/vaccines. We are working diligently to maintain that with all of the most recent registration information, state changes, all of those what seems like daily updates related to vaccines out there. There are a lot of ongoing questions related to vaccines. So if you guys hear something that is not on our FAQs, please let us know and we will work to add that to our list. If you look at the vaccine FAQs on the website, there are a lot of them. And as we get to the point where Johnson & Johnson vaccines are available in the state of Missouri in the next few weeks, we will make sure that that is added into that section. So we have one person that just joined us by phone. Can you let us know who it is, please? Okay, so I think Angie might have joined twice. So Angie, can you hear us? we'll let Angie settle in. So we've got Angie and Michaeline that just joined us on here. Who is at 7412, that phone number? If you can unmute yourself and let us know. Or just type it in the chat, that works too. Okay, so COVID communication.
It's me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
What the heck?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know how I've got in twice. I'm telling you this. I get on Zoom like all day. I do all other things. I don't know what it is with this one in my phone, but I'm sorry. I'm here.
Okay. You're all good. All right. So I'll finish the COVID communications and then we'll go back and approve our February 2nd meeting minutes here in just a second. So COVID, we have the vaccine website. If you have any FAQs that we need to add to that, please let us know. We are doing ongoing communications about just sort of the mitigation efforts. We understand that everyone's kind of tired. We're at the almost 1 year mark of hearing us talk about all of this. It has been a really long 2 weeks, and we understand that. We hear that. And as somebody that has to talk about COVID every day, I am just as tired as everybody that is hearing it as well. So masks are very, very important right now. And that is one of the best things that we continue to do. So the variant conversation is big right now. And one of the things that we are working on as a region to better communicate, the best thing that we can do to stop the growth of variants in the United States is not provide them bodies to grow in. So by wearing the masks, limiting those gatherings outside of our households, maintaining social distance, all of those things that we have been talking about for the last year, that is the best way for us to limit the growth and continued migration of these variants. We know that there is at least the UK variant very heavily aware of that growth here in the state of Missouri. Others are coming. There are other variants. That's what these diseases do. They change and evolve over time. So we will continue to model our messaging off of what our scientists and experts are telling us at the top levels and providing that information there. It's changing all the time. They have new variants every week. They have new suggestions every week. But the vaccines and getting that information out is a key point of hope right now. And we understand that everybody is very interested in that as we work towards getting access to that. So if you can continue to help us share those vaccine websites and that information from that page, please do so. And we'll continue to update that as we get new information. So that is our COVID communications update. If we can go back now to our February 2nd meeting minutes, you guys should have those in your inbox. And I need to send Nancy another copy of the link real quick. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll move to approve, Meg.
Thank you. Is there a second? Cindy seconds. Okay. All those in favor of approving?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We're good to go. So Angie, while I work with hopefully getting Nancy in, can you give us a quick update on any movement regarding the signs that you discussed last week or last month?
Yep. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Thank you. Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. I've got the proofs back and I will send them to you. For 10 of them, he was like, yeah, I think you can get them for like $4.90 something a piece. And then I think it did cost maybe, I don't know how much for like the little stick for it to go in was a little bit more. But that was just for like a quick quote of 10 of them. If we go up, they would of course be a lot cheaper, but they looked really cool. They kind of he did like a faded background of the image, like on the white part. And then the other side is like has the side of the logo, and it looks really cool. So I'll send that to you when we get off of here for you guys to see. Like I said, he said it would definitely go down in price, when you do bulk. But I thought if we wanted to start, all of us put one up and then like sell them or figure out what we wanted to do. But either way, they're cool.
What was the individual price, Angie? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I need to look at it again. It was like $4.78 or 98 cents.
Okay.
I hate not being able to see you. I don't know why
Technology is fun. It's all good. Okay. So we had talked last time about a couple of different ways to use those signs for sort of community spirit. There was a lot of talk about sort of encouraging people to do the neighborhood gatherings and having those signs as part of the neighborhood gatherings, as well as sort of a crowdfunding effort where people could purchase and then we would order signs and other branded materials like flags that people could order, and then we would, once we met a certain number, we could order them. I know that we had talked about looking at outside entities with everything that it took place in February. I know the mayor and I were focused on, I think we had 3 overlapping crises in 1 week during February, so there was not a lot of time to look at some of these other pieces. But if that is something that you guys would like us to continue to pursue, we'll look at other ways that we can promote those items. I know we had talked about maybe the chamber helping with that. Michaeline, is that something that you guys are willing to talk about a little bit more?
We can definitely run it by the staff and see what we, can do as a staff to help out, to support you guys. Sure.
Okay. So, Angie, if you can send us the proof and then the costs, and then we can look at some of those other branded materials utilizing some of our local printers. I know that there was sort of talk about flags. Was there anything else that you guys specifically wanted us to look at for those sort of community spirit items?
And this is a local printer. This is Cable Dahmer's printing. Did I tell you that?
I believe that was mentioned, but that's a good reminder.
I just wanted to make sure, because I know you said something about local. I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we can get quotes on flags. We have quotes on the signs. Is there anything else you guys would like to look at?
I love the idea of the flag.
Okay. So last month for Community Spirit, we started talking about some of the things that were coming up. And I know, Cindy, you guys were working on a treasure hunt. Is there any more information on that we could build off of for March sort of community spirit efforts?
We don't really at this time, but I will let you know hopefully like in the next day or so.
Okay. Now you're really hard to hear, but I got that you will let us know in the next day or so. So
let me see if I can adjust something else. Hold on.
Nope, you're working right. I don't know if you're closer to the mic or what, but okay. You were better that time. Okay. So the idea was that we would do a treasure hunt, and I've been thinking about that a little bit over the last few weeks. It's really nice this week. It's really nice next week. So we could encourage some neighborhood, like Chalk the Walk efforts with treasure maps or things like that on their sidewalks that people could walk around the neighborhoods and find. What do you guys think about that?
Sounds like fun to me. So I'm guessing I've never participated in something like that, but I'm guessing you draw something on the sidewalk with chalk and they go to find it. Is that the whole premise behind it?
Yeah, so there's been like teddy bear hunts where people put a teddy bear in the window and then they share it on like the neighborhood next door or Facebook page, and people can go out there and do that. We could develop a quick graphic about, neighborhood treasure hunts and finding, clues throughout the neighborhood to local treasures. So it could be, a historic home or a statue, or it could just be, find fun little things on everybody's front steps where they hide a treasure. So it could be the teddy bear or something else like that. We'll work on that, but if you guys think that we can help promote it, it would just be a fun way to encourage everybody to get outside after a very, very cold February. Okay. So the next thing that we have on here after community spirit efforts, and before we get off of that, Angie, can you help us with getting some bids on your subcommittee from local printers on flags? I think we probably want a couple different sizes. So the small, like little flags, and then the actual flags that you would put on a flagpole.
Perfect. Yes. Now, do you have that, Cindy, from when you guys did those on the square, or is that a different type of flag?
I don't know what flag are you talking about? The American flag, or are you talking about the flags that go on the light poles?
Like your ISA flags and stuff like that. I just didn't know if you got different bids on that.
Those flags were created before I came here.
Cool.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how much they cost or where they were from. They might have been from Corporate Copy.
I'll find them.
Thank you, Angie. Okay, so we'll get those bids together and we can talk about that more in April, and we'll go from there. So Women's History Month. Mayor Weir, you mentioned this last night in your council comments, but we found some really cool stories on Black History Month, and I think we can continue to build on that. One of my to-do lists right now, and there's a lot going on this week, is to create a Black History Month page where we can sort of chronicle all of those different stories, and then we'll have a Women's History Month page to sort of start building those stories as well. So Mayor, do you want to talk a little bit more about Women's History Month and sort of the vision for March?
Yeah, well, we've got a month's not a long time to squeeze in everything that we want to say. And honestly, we still have things kind of trickling in for Black History Month that we're still gonna, publish someplace, even though the month of February is over. But, I thought we had some really cool programming for Black History Month, just stuff that people could sort of consume on their own, their essays and interviews and, different things that we put out there that people could just partake of. So we're wanting to do the same thing for Women's History Month, is just, identify some content that's probably already been produced and some stuff that we have previously produced that we can put out celebrating women, women who have had a specific impact on independence, citizens, or, other, or even non-citizens, I guess. But then, we'll create some original content too, and ask for essays and stories, and we'll line up some interviews, and I know the Truman Roundtable did a Black History Month edition. They really focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion, but we can do a program with them for Women's History Month focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're working with United We, and I sent this to some of you, on a program that's not going to be till April, but it's something we can promote through Women's History Month, and that's really focused on women serving on boards and commissions in our city and seeking elected office, not just city council, but school board and other elected offices. So, we're just, consider this the open call for submissions, of either content or ideas about people that you think would be interesting to hear from. I know Meg has a previously recorded interview with Mayor Potts that we'll put back out there as the first female mayor of Independence. But, women's history covers a lot of different things. I mean, everything from the beginning of time to the present. So, they don't have to be historical. I mean, it can be certainly, current activities as well.
So if you guys have any ideas, I know, Mayor, you talked about interviewing Carol Sue Bass. So she is on my list, and Michaeline, I might work with you on getting contact information from her. It might be interesting to juxtapose her with the current president of the chamber, who are both women, and looking at sort of the first versus the current. Then if there are any other suggestions or ideas that you guys have, let us know, and we'll add them to the mix of people that we're talking to. So I think that's one of those things that we can just sort of continuously curate. And even if we aren't able to schedule it in the month of March, we'll continue to just look at that. It's in our next section, but sort of the upcoming events. Asian American and Pacific Island Heritage Month is the month of May. So we need to start thinking about that. That is a unique demographic in Independence, that we have a very strong Asian American and Pacific Island population because of their connection to the local churches. So there's a lot of stories to tell there, and a very dynamic group in our community that is proud of their heritage and history, not only as they're part of their faith, but also as part of just the ongoing community that they've built here. So we'll definitely look at that. But if you guys have any suggestions or ideas as we work towards May, we can start collecting those as well. So any other Women's History Month ideas that you guys want to talk about? Okay, then we'll go ahead and transition into the upcoming events section. So Cindy, do you want to talk a little bit about your sort of grand idea for Truman Day and all of that?
I don't know if I do or not. Well, so I just keep thinking that, we're very special to have a presidential library in our city, and to have a president from our city. And, we do some things up here on the square, but we keep thinking it'd be great if other neighborhoods, if other people, I don't know, flew a flag. One year, I guess it was a couple of years ago, we created a 5-foot tall birthday card and had it available in some different places, and people could sign the birthday card, and then we took the card to the Truman Library and Museum, and they displayed it. But I just, I know that like President Truman is also very important to a lot of other people, even outside of our area and what have you. But I just, I had a big idea of having a traveling card that we would like get sponsored, whatever, to pay for it, because it can be pretty expensive to create that on your own. But that it would be available in different places throughout the city for people to sign, and that type of thing. So, but we also know, like, trying to gather folks at this time is also not a great idea. But I don't know, just throwing that out there. I do think that there should be some type of, I know we do some recognition, but I always keep thinking that something a little bit bigger or grander would be, and I'm not really sure what that is. But.
So do you guys have any ideas on other ways that we can celebrate President Truman's birthday? And if you aren't aware, it is May 8th is President Truman's birthday. It is also a state holiday for Truman Day. So the city is closed on that day to celebrate, and our state offices.
So it's a Saturday this year, I think and so the city offices will be closed on the 10th for Truman's birthday, that following Monday. The Truman Library is intending, if everything goes as planned, of having some kind of events and having the library be open. And that's still being formulated because that requires permission from the federal government, but they feel fairly confident that that's going to be forthcoming sometime before May 8th. And Wild About Harry, which typically takes place in April, which is their big fundraising event, will be happening during that week as well. So it's going to kind of be this whole 3 days of Truman. So that's what the Truman Library's planning. Yeah, I'm always trying to and I don't have an answer. I'm just always trying to figure out ways how to take things out into the whole community and not just bringing people into one part of the community. I mean, the square is the heart of our city, and there's no question about that. But, how do we take things more outward?
So Bryce shared in the chat, could we take video of various people reading a famous Truman speech? And there's quite a few of them. That would be a fun way to do it. I was also thinking as a birthday card, what if we encouraged businesses and houses to put up a birthday message in their windows and then ask them to share that with us? And we can do a montage of that. So even, I wonder if the schools would help us paint windows. I'm thinking of Mizzou's homecoming in Columbia, and a lot of the storefronts will allow the different student organizations to come in and paint messages for that month.
So Englewood
around
used
homecoming.
to do that, or maybe still does, for the Mystic Pumpkin Festival at Halloween. They would paint, because Englewood has all those great, plate glass windows. So that would be, and I mean, that's the arts district. So maybe we could get art students or, artists to do something like that in Englewood. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I like that idea.
That would be a cool idea. What about making, I don't know, I think an outward appearance would be better, but I was going to say those vid hugs are pretty funny that people have been doing. It'd be like a cool montage for Truman. You could do like a quick vid hug.
I am going to be out of the loop here. I don't know what a vid hug is, Angie.
What? Oh my gosh, it's a new thing. I'll send it to you. Everybody's been sending them for 40th birthdays. We're doing one for a 90-year-old at church. They're it's just a link, and then you send it to all these people, and they do a 2 or, I think it's no longer than 90 seconds upload, and then it puts it all together for you. It's pretty cool. I don't know.
Yeah, if we can have, I think the more we can get citizen participation in this and celebrate that huge part of our community history, um, the better. So as simple as we can make it. So we can see if there's a way that we could do something like we've done with the gratitude pumpkin and the wreath, where people could upload like a quick submission there. Um, we could obviously ask people to like hold a happy birthday message and have them submit it that way. Um, so we can work on the speech, having different people read the speech, which if you guys have a suggestion of a particular speech that you would encourage us to do, we can also look at the library and see if they have one that they would recommend. And then the stores, Cindy, I mean, you're sort of representing the business owners, and Michaeline, you might have a thought on this. What do you think about the businesses participating in something like that, where they would decorate their windows for a couple weeks around this?
Yeah, I think that's totally possible and will be highly encouraged.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is ask, and hopefully they'll be willing to do it.
Right, and I mean, it is a way of them sort of promoting their participation in the community too. So if they submit them to you guys and then you send them to us, we'll share them on the different social media platforms for the city as we get around that holiday. So,
well, to
I
tack
will.
on what Angie said, after they get them all up, decorated and so forth, maybe I can try to see if I can get around, but maybe we can take photos or videos of the windows and put them together all in one video. Would be kind of fun. Maybe that's kind of what you were thinking, Angie. I'm not sure, but.
And Cindy, I do think that we can do a general request asking people to put out their flag on that sort of long weekend of Truman Day. So put it up the 7th and have it up through the 10th. Obviously, weather permitting for the flag etiquette, but we can ask citizens to do that
Very
and then encourage
cool.
them.
Well, yeah, or I was just saying, like, if we, like, for our student council back in.
Angie, your computer's doing something weird because you were on mute, but you were still talking and we could hear you. And I don't know how that's possible.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Yeah.
Weird. Okay, sorry. I don't even remember what I was going to say.
Student council used to do something with flags. If you think of it, let us know and you can share it in the chat too. So
there was also I'm going back, I love the idea of the Truman speech, like having different people, and maybe you don't do the whole speech, you just do like a, depending on how long it is.
That it was like Emmaus.
Okay. But Truman also.
Could you not hear me?
No. You're cutting out.
Why don't you just chat? You can message it in the chat, Angie.
But Truman also carried a poem with him all the time. And I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I think like when he was in the war, he carried this, poem with him. And so that would be another thing that would be cool, is for someone, to have like a poetry reading of, this favorite Truman poem.
It would be really cool if we could find whatever it is, be it the poem or the speech, where we have actual video of him reading it too, and then we could stitch those together with the permission of the library, or obviously it would have to be in the public domain, which more of that is than we would think. But that would be.
Yeah. And Angie did, in Junior Service League, did that amazing like Truman Love Letters event a couple of years ago. That was so fun. And Mary was, I mean, that was Loxley Hall is a poem, right? Whoever put that in the chat. And that's always fun. I mean, the letters between Harry and Bess are always really sweet and touching. And he wrote a lot of letters that he never sent also. So
I think that's an excellent. Yes, he was a prolific letter writer. We can reach out to the library and see if that's one that they would be willing to partner on that with us, the Library Institute, and we can bring something back to you guys in April. To Cindy and Nicolene, when would a message to businesses be best received if we're asking them to decorate by the first week of May?
I would say I would give them at least 3 to 4 weeks, because if they have to get things for their window, that'll give them time to think about it. And then we can kind of reiterate that we're doing this and, send out another one a couple weeks ahead of time to remind them. I don't know. That's just my opinion. What do you think,
Okay.
Cindy?
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, like early April.
And Meredith, do you think that's something that the district art students would be willing to help if there's a businesses that wanted some local students to assist in that we could connect the two in some shape or form?
I do, for sure. Our academies would be plugged in, and I mean, either that or appealing directly to some of the art teachers. We usually get a good response. We've done community-based things like that before, so absolutely.
Okay. Can you sort of start feeling out who we need to contact on that? And we will work to have a message generated by early April that we can send to businesses and coordinate that through the month of April to go out to start in early May.
I love that idea of encourage citizens to write a letter to Harry.
Where would we have it sent? Do you have it, like, do we send it to the library? Would they have a place to keep it?
Yeah.
Is there a place that we could share them in City Hall too? I know that we have some big blank walls that we could put stuff on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can chew on it and see if there's a good spot. Okay, so a lot of really great ideas. Thank you, Cindy, for starting the conversation. Is there anything else you'd like to add or see sort of brought into it? Okay, so that one sort of took on some legs of its own. So 7 Days is a program that the City of Independence has participated in for a couple of years, and the name of it is Give 7 Days. And if you go to the website, give7days.org, you can see more information on sort of what the campaign is about. But it was sort of started a few years ago after the events in Kansas at, well, Mary, you've worked on this. Do you want to give a brief update on all of that?
Yeah. So this is Mindy Corcoran's initiative, her organization. She's the mother of her father and her son were murdered by a white supremacist, as we all remember, out at the Jewish Community Center several years ago, as well as another woman who was there visiting her mother, or at Village Shalom. So Mindy, in the wake of that, has created this 7 Days program. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with it, and each day focuses on a different theme, or typically in the past, each day is focused on a different theme, and it's really just all about, healing a community, about, accepting and learning about different cultures. I mean, I've gone to programs where she's had skinheads, giving the, talking to a crowd of people why they were skinheads or ex-skinheads. So we participate. I mean, we're a 7-day city, and we just do programming throughout the week that encourage community acceptance and ideas around, just learning about other people. I mean, to put it very, very simply. So some of the things that we're working on are, like doing like suggested reading lists through the library, attending faith services at church that's not your, a service at a faith community that's not your own, either in person or online. We typically, there's like a walk or 5K that happens. Last year it happened virtually, kind of like how the chamber did their virtual 5K. So we're talking about a lot of different ideas around that, and Becky, our city clerk, is kind of helping to lead that. And of course we do like a proclamation and all those types of things, but Becky's we're working with various different cities to kind of generate ideas of things that we can do during that period in April.
So the 7 days this year is April 13th through the 25th. So I've shared the give7days.org in the chat if you guys want to look at that. But what we would really like to see, obviously the city will do a proclamation, and then we generally do a press release where we sort of encourage different actions for the 7 days. But this is something that doesn't just have to be the city. So starting to talk to the different peer groups that you guys work with, and if you have any suggestions on looking at those events, sort of prompts that they have for the different 7 days on things that we should add as potential suggestions. I think that this is one where we could take the kindness calendar that we did a couple of years ago in November and provide sort of list of like suggestions for the 7 days that neighborhoods can do, that families can do, that all of us can do, just to sort of promote healthy communication between all of us in the community. So I would encourage you guys to take a few minutes and look at that. And if you have ideas or suggestions that sort of pop into your head, send them our way and we can start working on that. We will generally send out the prompt early April. So now is a good time for you guys to send us any suggestions or ideas that you might have. The next thing is the Missouri Bicentennial. Mayor, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so the Missouri Bicentennial is this year, and there's several things planned, I'm sure throughout the year, but in August in particular. And I think a lot of you probably saw some of this on Facebook. One of the ideas was a ice cream social, and that kind of captured my attention. I thought that that would be something really fun to do up on the square with Clinton's drugstore. And I know that there's not a lot. I mean, there may be a lot, but I know of several other food trucks that do ice cream that are here, that come around in Independence. So we could do kind of like a food truck and ice cream social, and of course do something with Clinton's. I thought we could have, some of the things that like we've done at San Calagon in the past, Michael Lane, like the ice cream eating contest. We could have a root beer float chugging contest with, Polly's Pop. And I mean, there's just all sorts of ideas. We could do a, Angie, I thought of you. Like we could do a kid's costume. I don't want to make I hate having kids like a contest, but like have kids dress up in costume as you know, ice cream vendors or like soda jerks, old time, you know, things like that.
That's so
Um,
cute.
so, and then we could do some like branded, you know, independents, either ice cream cups or, you know, cone wrappers, or, you know, we could come up with something cute like that. But I just thought that would be a really easy and fun thing. And then, too bad Jody's not here. I was thinking you could do it like on a, even like a Friday, you know, afternoon or evening, and then do maybe something with our breweries and distilleries also to do like ice cream. Like I know I was up at Three Trails the other day and they have like this milkshake stout or something that's gross. I don't like it, but it's like, it's, but you know, maybe some of our breweries and distilleries could do special, and the restaurants could do like special ice cream themed, you know, cocktails or specials that evening. I mean, there's just all sorts of cute ideas, and we could do, you know, cocktail napkins and ice cream cups, and maybe like little paper hats with our brand on it in conjunction with that. I sent Meg a whole like, you know, stream of consciousness email with all these kinds of ideas and at one point in time. But I think what I'm asking is if this group would sort of organize this, I mean, take the lead and, you know, will give us a little project that we could work on together. I don't think it's anything astronomical, but it really just, we don't really have somebody identified to pull it all together. But I think among all of us, we could, you know, be the organizing committee and pull this together.
Mayor, I was going to say, I've actually already signed the chamber up. We normally do a business after hours, you know, at the end of the month. And since Santa Calagon is leading up in August, so we've decided to switch it until the beginning of the month. And we were going to do one on the 10th, a social. We were going to do an ice cream social with our members here on the chamber lawn. But of course, you know, we haven't promoted that out to the membership yet. But I did actually sign us up on the Missouri Bicentennial website, because we were planning on doing something like that, but we could totally change it. We were going to invite our members in and do something on the lawn, you know, get an ice cream sponsor per se, and do something like that. But this sounds even better. So.
Yeah, and I think ISD has also started some conversations and some talks about that. I think, Michaeline, did we work with you on that? I know that we got information from the state and sent some stuff in for their calendar. I don't remember if we passed that along to you, if we were working in conjunction or something, but I'll check that out. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great idea too, and I know that we've started conversations about it as well.
Yeah, I actually did sign us up. They are a sponsor for Santa Calagon, and at the same time, I get their emails and so forth about, you know, different events that they're doing throughout the year leading up to the main date of the bicentennial. So, but yeah, we can totally see if we can all work together and create one big ice cream social. I think it would be really great for the community.
Yeah, I think there's definitely opportunities where we may be able to like bring in the Mavericks, so that we're bringing in some of our East Independence side there, maybe a Comets, get some of our athletic representation, and then yeah. So it sounds like Cindy and Micheline are obvious choices to help with sort of the subcommittee. Zach, would you be willing to help work on this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If, you said with Michaeline and who?
Cindy.
Cindy Rogers. I know it's going to be difficult, Zach.
No, sorry, I just didn't.
I'm teasing. Hey, and doesn't Parks and Rec, don't they do like an ice cream thing that they like go to different parks on different weeks, and they so maybe Parks and Rec could also
Yeah.
be a part of
Yeah,
this?
that's why Zach is a good
Oh,
choice
okay.
because he works with Parks Rec and Tourism. So there's definitely popsicles in the park ties. I think that we can probably look at some of our like neighborhood games, assuming that we're able to do some of those communal play things in August. Fingers crossed. Um, that we continue to move in that way. But even if we're not, there's some socially distanced things that we could still probably play in there along in that in August. Mary, did you have another thought?
No, I was just looking at the
Okay.
comments in the, yeah.
So it looks like Bryce is willing to help too. So if Cindy, Michaeline, Bryce, and Zach want to work together on the planning of that, and can you guys bring us an update in April, and we'll keep working towards August, which will be here faster than we think based on the last year. So
Hey, before I leave, if somebody wants to put me on an email thread to get this conversation started, just feel free to do that.
thank you, Bryce.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Quick before he leaves, so I can get his help too with the other. What's the date for the treasure map in the neighborhood?
We will send out an email for the treasure maps on St. Patrick's Day. So I will do it. We will have something out by the 12th, March 12th. So any ideas that you guys have, Angie or Bryce, let us know, and we'll work on the graphic the next 2 weeks to get out for that Friday.
Angie, let's talk.
Are you there?
She's there. Yeah, there. You're both there.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my good gosh, I'm gonna throw this phone away. All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk this week about it.
Okay, guys, just let us know and we'll get that in the loop with our information to send to citizens. Okay, so the last thing that we have on our to-do list is the Heritage Months. So obviously we have Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in May, and then we have Hispanic Heritage Month, which actually overlaps in September and October. And I need to look up Native American Month, Heritage Month. I can't remember that one off the top of my head, but we'll look at those different months to continue sort of highlighting the unique history of our community and the region. And with the trails here, we have all sorts of unique history associated with that, as well as the church. So adding that into the mix. If you have any unique ideas, particularly for May with Asian American and Pacific Islander Month, or individuals that you suggest, I think a few of us have similar people that are coming to mind just because they're very involved in the community. But if there are other people that are not as frequently sort of tapped on the shoulder, let us know and we'll start reaching out to them for May. But our hour went really fast this time, guys. You guys have had a lot of ideas and really heavy content to talk about. So
I have one more thing to throw out there in the mix. This just came to mind that April 22nd is Earth Day. And, with the city's initiative to be green and, all that kind of good stuff, there's I think some easy things that can be done to celebrate, turn off your light for an hour, or, I've seen some of those cities where the businesses have gone dark for an hour, or, some things like that. But, I'm just throwing it out there right now.
Cindy, we tried that 20 minutes at a time a couple weeks ago, and people didn't like it that much.
But it's going to be warmer this time around. It was cold.
Yeah. Turns out they didn't like it.
Well, that's a good thought. But
we had talked. Yeah, we had talked last month about promoting neighborhood cleanups and some of those um, pictures of spring coming back to life. So if there are any particular um, suggestions for a community spirit effort that week, let me know. It will be overlapping in our 7 days, but it doesn't mean that we can't sort of add it into the mix. Um, we'll have our next brand committee meeting at the beginning of April, so we can add it in at our conversation there and see if there's anything particular there.
That could be something fun to do with families. Like I know, like the book The Lorax in that movie. A lot of times it's kind of used for conversation starters, or I don't know, some fun kind of family type thing. I don't know. Anyway, okay, I've said my piece. I'm going back on mute.
Thank you, Cindy. So Meredith also shared an idea to have a community calendar where we ask the public to submit pictures to create a calendar. Um, I think that's a great idea, Meredith. Is that something that you would be willing to sort of build a subcommittee on and help look at sort of the process of it?
I sure would. And I think timing wise, if we explored that maybe around May, June, I mean, you'd want to give folks a couple of months. And actually, you might actually thinking about it. Some folks might have archives of photos because I think seasonally you want it to be representative of the month that it covers. But if it's cultural too, you want to give folks enough time to be able to do that. So yeah, I would be glad to brainstorm with some folks, and I might send out a couple of email requests.
Okay.
But that's another one that could be, I think, a revenue generator once the content is created. Folks would definitely want to support the city, I think, and be able to invest in the celebration of culture and different heritages every month. So
Very good. So it looks like Michaeline is interested in that one too, but I don't want to overcommit you, Michaeline.
Michaeline likes all everybody's ideas.
She's a rock star. Let's just put her everywhere.
Right.
No, I don't have time. No,
but
I think it would be good for, we're trying to visually show how great our city is and how it, we're trying to overcome all the adversity of our city. And I think that's a good way of putting it out there. Look at all the wonderful things that we have here. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
okay. So Meredith, why don't I can help on that one too, just as a staff liaison. I think there's some ways that we can promote that and maybe look at a local distributor. So again, that it's not being sold from the city, because as we mentioned last time, the city selling things, there are additional steps and pieces to that. So we can talk about that and then bring some more plans to you guys in April. Okay, so that was a lot, you guys. You are rocking it out today. So anything, final thoughts in our last minute here?
Meg, I think my image is finally uploaded in the chat. Did they?
Yes, we have the graphic there and the cost.
It was just spinning. Okay, and I'll email it too, but I just wanted to get it in your face real quick while I had people's faces.
Thank you.
See thoughts.
Yeah, and then people could use a Sharpie or erasable marker on those and put different messages on it.
So marker them, yeah, whatever.
Very cool.
What do you guys think?
I think it's really pretty.
I like how he did the back underlay. I didn't think about that. I just thought it would be all white, and so I like how he did that.
Very cool. So let's bring the flag ideas in April, and we can talk more about where we would potentially distribute these from. And a lot of really cool ideas, guys. So we'll talk about Bicentennial in April. We'll talk about community spirit items in April. And then we'll talk about, that includes the flags, signs, calendar, etc. If you guys have anything for Earth Day in April, bring that to our April meeting. And if you have anything for the treasure hunt, Angie and Bryce, if you can send it to us as soon as possible, we'll get that out on March 12th. So, wow, you guys, I have a lot of notes, a lot of to-dos, and appreciate your time. So Stay healthy, everybody. Let us know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you in April.
Thanks.